Good afternoon, y'all. This is Ryan Jackson from Ryan Jackson LLC, and on today I'm going to be talking about George Floyd's death. 1 year later, has anything changed? 1 year ago today, on May 25th, 2020, Mr. George Floyd was exiting a store in Minneapolis. He had paid for an item, and the clerk, uh, the $20 bill, I guess he gave the clerk was counterfeit, and so the clerk called the police, Minneapolis police. So they arrived on the scene. Um, Chaos ensued. Mr. Floyd was put on the ground, um, was held against his will, and officer or white supremacist terrorist Derek Chauvin kneeled on this man's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, which killed Mr. Floyd. 8 minutes and 46 seconds. He kneeled on his neck. That was 1 year ago today. A year later, I asked, has anything changed as far as, the police murdering our people? Has there been reform? Has there been legislation by the Biden administration or by the Democrats and the Republicans in the House? I asked that question. 1 year later, has anything changed? As far as I'm concerned, nothing has changed. It just got worse. Not a damn thing has changed. We're still being murdered by the police. They failed to even pass qualified immunity or revoke it for the cops when they murder us. They failed to pass it. Um, Biden, he has yet to show that he's serious about qualified immunity. And while he's meeting with the family, I mean that's good and all. I mean that's great. That's an act of nobility. I mean, sure, meet with the family, but what are you doing for the family? What are you doing to pass qualified immunity? The cops get off. They can't be sued civilly. When they murder us, hold them accountable. But see, like with the Trump administration, the Biden administration are in bed with the police unions. Well, all the politicians are because they donate so much to their campaigns until they don't want to speak out against them because they don't want to lose that funding. They want to get reelected. So the Fraternal Order of Police, the police unions, they put their money behind these candidates, both Republican and Democrats, by the way. And so when the issue comes up of, you know, um, ending qualified immunity, they're silent. There's crickets. It's a damn shame. I mean, there's video evidence of Mr. Floyd being executed. There was video evidence of Philando Castile being gunned down in front of his girlfriend and 4-year-old daughter. There was video evidence years ago, decades ago, of Rodney King being beaten like he was a pinata by the Fort LAPD officers. There's a 911 call that told, oh my God, this guy here, the Trayvon Martin, that incident. There's a 911 call that told the terrorist that was following him to leave him alone. Call the police. There's a 911 call. Say, do not follow him. Leave Trayvon Martin alone. Call the police. Zimmerman, that's his name. The 911 operator told Zimmerman this. I mean, what is it going to take? There's evidence of Sandra Bland being murdered in that jail down there in Texas. There's evidence of Eric Garner being choked to death by NYPD officers. There's evidence of Freddie Gray being murdered in Baltimore by the Baltimore PD. There's video evidence of Rashard Brooks last summer being shot in that Wendy's parking lot in Atlanta by Atlanta police officer. All this mounds and mounds and mounds and mounds of evidence, but yet these politicians will not end qualified immunity. They will not end it. But yet they'll ask us, come out and vote. Take your booties to the polls. Vote for us. Vote for us. We got to get Trump out of office. We got to get Trump out of office. Trump is bad. Trump is evil. We can't have another 4 years of Trump. The world's gonna come to an end. We got to get Trump out of office. We're all gonna die if Trump gets reelected. Are we? What the hell are y'all doing for us? Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. What the hell are y'all doing for us? Y'all won't even end qualified immunity, but you sit up here and say, well, Black Lives Matter. You let people, deface the street in DC, and paint Black Lives Matter on the street, but you won't do anything to show that Black Lives Matter. It's all symbolism. That's all it is. Pandering. And it's BS. But yet we continue to fall for it. We vote for these damn Democrats. They pull out hot sauce out their purse. Oh, child, she black. She eat hot sauce. Talking about Hillary Clinton from years ago. They come to our churches sing, Amazing Grace and lift every voice and sing, oh, they black. They eat fried chicken, with the congregation. Say they listen to rap music, wore Timbs, smoke marijuana, like every black person smoke weed, and the only music we listen to is hip hop, and all we do is wear Timbs. They pandering to us. That is pandering and symbolism to the max. Kamala Harris get on the Ricky Smiley show and sing Atomic Dog, Atomic Dog, and he loses his damn mind. She black, y'all. We need to vote for her, y'all. Nigger, are you stupid? What the hell is wrong with us? What is it going to take? This is what Ice Cube was saying last summer, and and he got beat up by far too many people in our community. Oh, he a Trump supporter. He's speaking to Trump's people. No, but he wanted to speak to Biden's people, and he still hasn't spoke to the Biden administration, which is no big surprise to me because they're full of it. They're full of caca, to keep it mild, to keep it PG-13. They're full of it. They had no intentions of meeting with Ice Cube. He said we should get something for our votes. Politics is quid pro quo, and it should be bipartisan. Dr. Claude Anderson been saying that since the 90s when he came out, when he wrote his books, Black Power, White Wealth, and Powernomics. But y'all don't listen. That's why we continue to get played. So the question, George Floyd's death, 1 year later, has anything changed? No. No, it has not, and it will not. I'm normally an optimistic person on situations, on things, but on this, I'm gonna be the pessimist. It's not gonna change. It's only gonna get worse. We keep allowing ourselves to get played like fools by these politicians. They meet with the families, the Ben Crumps, the Lee Merritts. I mean, they're making their bones on these cases, and they're making a killing. I mean, I guess that's what they do. They do what they got to do, but it's a shame that they're not pushing for, reform. And not just when qualified immunity, but what about the brothers and sisters that are in prison, are getting raped and beaten in prison every day, murdered in prison? There's still a disparity of black people being sent to the gulags as opposed to white people getting raped, beaten, murdered. The mental anguish. Yeah, we could talk about police reform, but we need to talk about prison reform. It just don't stop with the police. It goes up to incarceration rates. We need to end the school to prison pipeline that far too many of our young black boys are facing. What about that? It just don't stop. It just don't start with police killing us. It's a school to prison pipeline. It's the incarceration rates. For those of you who haven't read her book, Michelle Alexander, she illustrates this in her book, The New Jim Crow. I suggest y'all read it if you already haven't. For those that haven't read it, it's a great book, great read. If Black Lives Matter really gave a damn about Black lives, they would say something about Black people in prison being tortured, raped, beaten, murdered in these gulags. They would say something. They really would say something about the school to prison pipeline, our babies. If Black Lives Matter, they just don't matter when Pookie gets shot by Officer Redneck. You didn't give a damn about Pookie when he was 5 years old, going to these schools, and they telling them, they punishing them, kicking him out of school for fighting, excluding him, teaching him this garbage, already criminalizing him from birth. Stuttered there, excuse me. That's why so many abortion clinics in the Black community. They don't want strong black boys, strong black girls. But that's another story for another day. So Black lives just don't matter. They just can't matter when someone is murdered by the cops. They have to matter from birth. These Black Lives Matter activists need to protest these abortion clinics. That's where Black life starts, from birth. It don't start when, someone's getting murdered at the age of 18 or 25 or 40, whatever. It starts from birth. I mean, it's all symbolism. These people aren't serious about Black life. They never have been. It's just a show. Just someone getting a paycheck. It's all about the money. It always comes back to the money. If they really gave a damn about Black life, they would care about, they would tell Black women, don't abort your babies. Have your babies. They would close down these Planned Parenthood clinics. They would be more active in the community. They would tell our community that Black fathers do matter. Black fathers need to be in the home. Sons need their fathers. Daughters need their fathers. The community need Black fathers. But from what I saw on the Black Lives Matter homepage, they're against the traditional Westernized family or nuclear family. But Black Lives Matter though. It's a joke. It's a sick joke. But my hearts and condolences. My heart and my condolences go out to the Floyd family. And I said that last year and again a year later. That was a senseless murder. It didn't have to happen. Um, it was ridiculous, senseless, and it just goes to show that Black life doesn't matter. My dog now, my Chihuahua, his life matters more than mine in this country. That's right. My almost 3-year-old Chihuahua's life matters more than my life does in this country. You kill a dog, you're going straight to prison, 3 to 5 years. Cops kill one of us, he should have. You cannot not even have a weapon. It could be the evidence is clear as day. You just walk down the street, you know, cop harass you or whatever. One thing leads to another. Bam, you shot. Well, he should have complied. Well, he should have done this. Oh, and then if you do comply and you still murder, they want to dig deep, dig a deep hole down in your past. Well, he was 5 years old. He hit a little boy because he wouldn't share his toys with him. And then, he didn't have a father in the house. See, this goes to show you that fathers matter. Y'all can't have it both ways. When something goes wrong, you can't say, well, where's the father? But then fathers don't matter. They shouldn't be in it doesn't make any good nonsense. In the famous words of my mother, it doesn't. But that's just it's infuriating, it's exhausting. We keep having this conversation. Dante Wright was just murdered 2 months ago while the Derek Chauvin trial was going on in Minneapolis. Brooklyn Park police officer. She, quote unquote, thought she had her taser, but she thought her gun was her taser, and she murdered this young man. You can't tell the difference between a taser and a gun, and you've been on the force for 26 years. Really, lady? Really? 26 years has been on the force, and you know the damn difference between a taser and a gun? Adam Toledo was murdered in Chicago during this time. I think a week before Dante Wright, if I'm not mistaken. So no, nothing has changed. The beat goes on. Something Cool in the Gang, and the beat goes on. The beat goes on. The beat continues to go on. The beat of these cops killing us, and not, and the Democrats or these politicians not ending qualified immunity goes on, and it will continue to go on. I guarantee you what, though, I guarantee you this, if white people start getting murdered by cops, by black cops, or by any cops, but particularly black cops, oh, they'll pass they're in qualified immunity then in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. If members of the Jewish community were murdered by black police officers, oh, they'll pass it. They will shut that police station down. They will defund that police force. You better believe it. In a nanosecond. And y'all know it's true. No, it's true. And this goes to show you that these politicians, they don't care. They don't even want to pass or have a conversation about reparations. The worst atrocity in human history. They don't even want to say the damn word reparations. A lot of them don't even want to have a conversation. And then, or if they do, they want to have a study. Have a study to see if we should receive reparations. That'll be like me forcing you to work for me against your will and me not paying you for your labor. I know I owe you money. You know I owe you money. Everybody and their mama know I owe you money. But then I said, oh, I'm going to conduct a study. I'm going to get a panel together to see if I should give you this money that I owe you, even though I forced you to work against your will. How crazy is that? Just as crazy as these politicians want ending, they don't want to end qualified immunity, and but yet Black Lives Matter. Don't want to talk about reparations, but Black Lives Matter. Abortion clinics are in the black neighborhoods, but Black Lives Matter. It's a farce. Black Lives Matter movement is a farce. It's a money-grabbing organization. It's all symbolism. That's all it is. You got to see it for what it's worth. I mean, yes, we know that Black Lives Matter. We know that. We know that Black Lives Matter. But it just doesn't matter when, Ray Ray is shot at the age of 25. Ray Ray's life mattered when he came into this world. When his mama brought him into this world, his life mattered then, not when he got murdered at the age of 25. So like I said, we need to cut the bull, get real, cut the bull, and just cut the check. Because that's, these people ain't serious. But when it comes election time, that's when they serious. That's the only time and that's only to get votes, to get them in office, to get them elected. That's the only time they take the Black community serious. And yet we fall for it every 4 years. Hook, line, and sinker. When is it going to change? When? I don't know. But I do know this. Nothing has changed since Mr. Floyd's death last year, and it won't change. Hadn't changed since Trayvon Martin was murdered 9 years ago, back in 2012. Just keep getting worse and worse. It does. Someone said George Floyd is a classic example why you should not do drugs. That's very silly, because that's a dumb statement, because white people do drugs. White people do drugs all the time. Are they murdered? So with that logic, so a white person that does drugs, should they be murdered? Oh, and the same person, he should not resist arrest. How did the man resist arrest when he was down on the ground and the cop had a knee on his neck? Are you kidding me? The damn terrorist had a knee on his neck. See, this is the stupidity I'm talking about right here. This is just stupidity. You know, people say stuff and they spout this, and they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. The stupidity of America. Classic example. Classic example. People go on here and they type this BS and they run their mouth, not knowing what the hell they're talking about. But you know, I'm not going to engage with this. I have better things to do. Black people, take care of ourselves. We all we got. Any event, y'all take care. Take care of each other. And again, 1 year later, has anything changed since Mr. Floyd's death? The answer is no. It keeps getting worse and worse. On that note, I'm out of here. Y'all take care of each other. Love y'all. Peace out.